Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You know, oh my. I and whatever's going on with my EB Mux, it's still trying to play an intro. Oh, thank you, Cindy. Thank you. All right, so we will try to move forward and we will try to reset ourselves. There we go. All right, let me share my screen. While I'm setting this up, this week I had no clue. I truly had no clue what to talk about today. In fact, Cindy knows. I put out there, uh, I have no inspiration. What are we going to do? Um, and this probably isn't even recording. Oh my gosh, it doesn't matter. It's okay. We're going to move forward. So Cindy had said something about, the holidays are coming up. And I thought, oh, that would be good. And then somebody had suggested, how do you find inspiration when you have, when you aren't feeling it? Well, I wasn't even feeling that, so please forgive me. I went to Chat GPT. I know I'm over 40. Chat GPT is my go-to. Um, there's probably others that are better out there, but Chat GPT and I have a bond. We are connected. So I went to Chat and something here. Let me just read to you what he said. I asked if he could. Uh, uh, my topic is finding inspiration when you aren't feeling it. Can you generate a list of talking points? And absolutely, I think that's a wonderful podcast. He always lifts me up. And I don't know why I refer to him as a he. It could be them, they, because every embroiderer and digitizer has those days when creativity, well, just feels empty. All right. So here are some of the things that he suggested. And please add. Um, add to it. Let me know. Let me know if something resonates with you. Oh, so he says to first start by admitting it happens, and it does happen. Some days you just don't have it. Um, recently, recently I even set up my sewing machine so I could have some like an after hours hobby, and I was at that thing every day. Um, I haven't been there for over a week. I have so many projects I want to do. They're all laid out there. I have all the materials, all the supplies. Well, I am missing the magnetic buttons, but that's an easy one to get. Um, and it's not going to hold up all of them. It's just one or two. Um, but I haven't been there in over a week. Yes, I'm still digitizing. And yes, I'm still putting together classes for Virtual Applique Getaway and my 2 classes for Everything Embroidery Market. Um, but as far as turning on the embroidery machines, I haven't done that for a couple of weeks. I get done with my digitizing at the end of the day and I leave this room and I don't think about it. I don't think about coming back. Yeah, I come back after 7, sometimes around 8, 9 o'clock, just to check the emails and address those, be done with them. But just not feeling it. So he also said, and I don't know if you guys remember from days gone by, but I refer to my Chat GPT as Chappie. Chappie said to stop forcing it. Stop forcing to come up with ideas. Stop forcing to push yourself to actually do something. Give yourself permission to step away. Is that what I'm doing? Giving myself permission to step away? And then Chappie says he follows this one up with, sometimes inspiration shows up when you're doing something completely unrelated to embroidery. Okay, so I've been doing a lot unrelated to embroidery. Okay, I've been death scrolling. Short reels. Yeah, I gotta do something else. Let's see. Cindy says, I'm the same. For a couple of months, all I want to do is sew in my home studio. Just can't make myself go into my sewing room. I guess just so busy at work, I'm exhausted. And Chappie says you need to give yourself permission to step away. We both have things, we both have full decks. And Cindy, I know that you have a lot going on in your embroidery studio. And I know that you have deadlines and customers that need their product, but you need to give yourself structure. You do not have to work 16 hours a day. I know it's get yourself caught up and then only schedule for an 8 or 10-hour day. You don't have to be there all day and all night. And then until you're feeling rejuvenated, give yourself permission to step away. We all need structure. We all need to know that we don't have to put in 16 hours, 18 hours. Gives you nothing to look forward to. So what else does he say? Chappie says to look what is already around you. Inspiration doesn't have to come from other embroidery ideas. Look at clothing, home decor, quilts, wallpaper, flowers in nature, architecture, jewelry, fabric, children's artwork. Ask yourself, what could I translate into stitches? And when I read this, my thought was retail research. Cindy says lately there's been a lot of emergency customers. Cindy, do you have an upcharge for a rush fee? Your customers should, granted, there are going to be an occasional emergency, but if they have to start paying for your undivided attention, if you explain to them, I have to set all of my other customers aside to do this. I may or may not lose that customer because I've had to set them aside. You're going to have to make up for that possibility. That's what rush fees are supposed to do for you. And again, with this, if they have to pay more, if they are regular, no. Okay, I'm going to address this for a minute, people. Even the regulars are going to get the impression of, yeah, I know I need to get this done. Needs to be out by the end of August. But Cindy will do it. Cindy will set everything aside and do it for me when I ask her to. So, it'll wait. It'll wait. Not a problem. It'll wait. Cindy will do it. Your regulars are going to take advantage of you. Yes, you want to keep them as a customer, but they need to understand that you are only one person and you provide a service to multiple people and that they are not the only one on the books. What else have we got here? Cindy, I've been busy with alterations, wedding and formal wear, the bee suit replacement zippers. And now DTF and embroidery garments and beanies for spirit wear. Yeah, this school year has started, hasn't it? I guess I feel like make hay when the sun is shining. If you're not quite sure what that means, it means that while the work is pouring in, you got to do it. You got to keep it coming because at some point it's going to slow down. And that slowdown may be may give you a hard punch in the uh, may give you a hard punch in the financial bucket, but still you can't burn yourself out over a maybe. You need to encourage these people to give you the time that you need. Yes, you knew that Spiritwear was coming because Spiritwear is at the school year, but even your Spiritwear customers need to give you time. They know that Spiritwear is coming. They, however they set this up, however they set up their ordering system, maybe they need to start 2 weeks earlier. Start 2 weeks earlier to get you a 2 week earlier head start so that you have time to get everything that you need. And Cindy is saying that she's trying to earn extra money for the Houston Quilt Festival. Uh, Cindy and I are going to meet up at the Houston Quilt Festival. I've never been, excuse me, I've never been to the Houston Quilt Festival. I've been to the Paducah, the one in Kentucky. That was great fun. But that was like, oh my gosh, that was like 15 years ago, 16, no, 18 years ago. And I haven't been doing any quilting or sewing since then. But like I said, I've recently pulled out my sewing machine and went searching for places and came up with the Houston Quilt Festival. And hey, do you ever go to the Houston Quilt Festival? She says, I have. Haven't in a while. I said, you want to go? So we're going. All right. So where to look for inspiration, look at things around you. Oh, I was saying about retail therapy. Eric Campbell, who has a YouTube channel and does a Friday afternoon podcast called The Take Up, which is fantastic. You guys should all try to find it. I'll put it in my descriptions in the description. I'll put his link to his channel. Um, but he talks about when he and his wife go shopping. Um, that he's always looking at decorated items, tea towels and sweatshirts, and he looks at that, and he looks at the item, and he says, "Wow, that's really cool. Maybe they DTF'd something on a shirt, and he knows that he can do it in embroidery." And he thinks, well, that's kind of cool. We could put that there, and we could put that there. Retail research is another place where you can find your inspiration. Chappie also says to go back through your own work. Go back to the beginning. Go back to your saved previous projects. Is there anything in there that maybe triggers, yeah, I could have done that differently. I could pinch a bit here and pinch a bit there and create something totally new. And as Chappie says, one old idea becomes several new ideas. Oh, and he says don't overlook color. Sometimes inspiration isn't in a design, it's in a color combination. And he's right. Um, that color combination, when I went to AG Applique Getaway last year, there was a vendor there who was selling uh, pre-made kits to sew projects, mostly totes. But there was a printed vinyl, and then there was a coordinating solid um, strapping material, web strapping material, plus the pattern. And I fell in love with a particular color. It was a really, well, actually, it was about this color. Yeah. So that's one of the projects that's sitting over at my sewing machine waiting for me to do. But that color combination, the teals, dark to light, that color combination has is an inspiration to make a a coordinated set of stock embroidery designs. Thank you, Janice. Janice, you are the go-to girl. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, if only I knew how to put that on the board. I'll figure it out someday. I truly will. Janice was just telling us where Eric Campbell's YouTube channel is. Where'd you go, girl? Bella wanted to come say hi, and then she walked away. I'm going to leave this up there for a moment. Okay. Let somebody else's work inspire you. I'm not saying go out and make an exact duplication of what they've got out there, but let it inspire you. Pinterest, Facebook, Instagram, embroidery magazines, quilt shows, craft shows, inspiration. You're walking around the craft show and something catches your eye and you're thinking, oh my God, that is so cute. I know many people that would love to have that. I could tweak it this way and maybe change it up that way. I think I think I'm going to take that and run with it. Other people's work, let it inspire you. Don't let it discourage you. Don't let it, oh my, they do such great work. I could never measure up to that. I could never do that. But you can. You can. Cindy says she sees a lot of inspiration, just can't make herself so. I'm right there. Like I said, I've got several projects sitting over at my machine, my sewing machine. I haven't turned on my embroidery machine. Um, I've got a couple of things I want to do there, but I haven't felt it. Just haven't felt it. And change your environment. This is for us, Cindy. Change your environment. Work in a different room. Take a sketchbook outside. Visit a fabric store. Not that we have fabric stores anymore. Walk through the craft store. Go to a quilt show, local art show. Rearranging your space. And maybe that will work. Maybe I just feel confined in my workspace. Maybe I need to switch it up a little bit to see where it goes and what I can do with it. You know, I keep saying to myself, I'd really like to bring a coffee and conversation back out to the machine. You know, do a live stitch out or something. But I just haven't. I just haven't. Please forgive me. Speaking of which, if there's something you'd like to see at the machine, please let me know. Send me an email, quick2stitch@gmail.com. Go to my website and use the contact page, quick2stitch.com, or find me in my social group, Facebook. Oh, Joanne, yeah. Kind of nice to know I'm not alone in getting to the machine. Yep, yep. I haven't turned either one of them on. And you know, one of the big projects I need to do with those, one of the big projects that I've set myself is to both of my machines have the capability of having files sent directly to them from my computer through my wired internet service. with data cables just need to be set up. Um, I now have all of the parts and pieces and parts to do that, but I haven't. And I would love to finish my design and send it straight to the machine, but I haven't. I should put a list. I should make a list. And that's something else I'm doing. I have a tendency to have ideas and then forget them. So I started out looking at bullet journals, but that was so much more than what I wanted. I just want a list. So I've started doing this. Each column is a day, and each day I have a list of things I want to do. Some of them get done during that day, some of them get pushed to the next day, and that's okay. So on my list, set up machines for files. Oh, I think I missed something. Joanne's going ditto. Let me scroll back. I do need to organize my home studio. It's a mess. I just try to get to my sewing machine and get out. Um, I set my sewing machine up so that it was right next to one of my tables out there. The table that I usually use for overhead display, overhead projection. I figured it's a wide enough space, doesn't get a lot of use, so let's use it for that. Only it's become a catch-all, so I have to clean that out. I know, it's just one more thing. Should put that on my list. Let's see. Ditto on finding. John says ditto on finding the machine. Yeah, right now my machine's it's right there. Got a chair sitting with it and everything. I can touch it. I can turn it on. It's not covered. The table next to it is terrible. Okay. The next thing Chappie suggests is to give yourself a play project. One that would be especially good for your digitizing audience. Make something with no customer, no deadline, and no purpose. Try a stitch you've never used. Experiment with density. Try different pathing approaches. In my classes, um, as we cover different subject matter in my classes, I suggest, now here are your settings. Play with these. Make a little 1-inch square and change the densities and change the stitch directions and change the underlay and see what happens. See how it works. Um, just to experiment. Maybe that will make you feel good about your embroidery again. Make inspiration a habit. Oh, that's a good one. Keep a folder or a notebook, an album called Inspiration. Save pictures, color combinations, sketches. We used to do, back 100 years ago when there were magazines forever, we used to do vision boards. Do you guys know what a vision board is? It was basically a poster board that you could buy at the store, and you put on the top what your vision was, and then you would, I'm going to use the word paste or glue pictures that represented the things you wanted to accomplish, whether it be a vision board for your life. You wanted a house, you wanted a car, you wanted a new job, whatever you want, that's a vision board. Um, Vision board for inspiration, put swatches of color. I did a vision board when I was trying to decide what colors to paint inside the house and what I wanted, different color combinations. And from there, I took that and I got swatches and, tested the swatches. Um, oh, Cindy, Cindy, a couple of weeks back, we did that whole applique with the cutout name on the side, applique letter with the cutout. Cindy made one. It looks great. If Letty is here, Letty made one also. Um, it looks great. And Cindy has yet to stitch hers, but she needs to do that at the shop where her embroidery equipment is. Cindy, don't you have a home embroidery machine? I thought you won a home embroidery machine. I know you got a sewing machine somewhere. Or maybe you gave that to one of the girls. That's fine. Oh, going back to the vision board again. Cindy says Russ still has a big book, kind of like a scrapbook, with all of his ideas or magazine cutouts. It's probably 50 years old. Do you ever go back through that? That could be a great place of inspiration. Go back through that, pull some things out, and see what you want to do. Barb, I do block scheduling. I use a 2026-2027 appointment weekly planner that has note area. And then I move the info to my Outlook calendar. Barb, you are so techy. I'm using pen and paper, but it is something that I can carry with me everywhere so that when the inspiration happens, and I know that same tech could go on my phone, but I hate working on my phone. My phone does two things for me. All right, occasionally three things. It acts as a phone. Hello, how do you do? It allows me to take pictures. Snap, snap. Oh, here's one. It holds my wallet. And it allows me to do death scrolls when I'm away from home. I'm sure there are other things I use my phone for, but those are the primary pieces. Otherwise, I carry my paper and pen. Let's see. I have sketchbooks and an idea notebook. You know, I think someday we should all take a field trip to Barb's studio. It sounds so wonderful. Oh, Cindy said she had two home machines, but she gave them to her daughter and her daughter-in-law. You are a good mama. You are a very good mama. You are the best. Yeah, Barb is very organized. Barb is very organized, and that's where, she keeps track of her wonderful ideas. Outlook gives me reminders. I need reminders. I know, I know. I have okay, so there's another thing that my phone does. I have 6 alarms set on my phone for different things. Um to the point where I almost don't want to turn on my phone. Of course, we know it's always on, but yeah. Barb loves her space. It makes her happy. We all need a field trip to Barb's. We need a field trip to Barb's. We're going to take a field trip to Barb's. Yes, we are. We'll do we'll call it an inspirational field trip. That would be so much fun. All right, what else have we got? Make inspiration a habit. Keep a folder. Ask yourself better questions. What should I make? What have I never tried? What would be fun to stitch? What could I make smaller? What could I make larger? What would this look like in embroidery? Oh, and to end our conversation today, Chappie says a great point for your digitizing students. Definitely talk about inspiration versus perfection. Sometimes we lack our inspiration because we're afraid it won't be good enough. So, to that end, create it anyways. You may surprise yourself. And all right, so the sewing project that I've got going, I hated the first one, wasn't overly happy with the second one, to the point where I decided that instead of using my supplies, my project supplies, to make a bad piece, I'm going to use muslin fabric to make test pieces. To make test pieces before, so I know how the construction goes before I actually make the final piece. And if I had not made those first two imperfect projects, I would not be inspired to find a better way to make a better project. So, encourage listeners to create a bad design. Your bad design may inspire you in ways to make it better. And Joanne is completely right. Perfection is a rabbit hole. You know, I grew up learning that as human beings, we are not perfect. We are not perfect we may strive for perfection, but we will never obtain perfection, because what our perfection might not be their perfection. You can work towards a project, you can work towards a goal, but don't kick yourself. Don't beat yourself up if it doesn't come out as you expected or somebody else doesn't like it. You're doing great work. Do great work for yourself. What's Cindy saying? Y'all are making me want to get to my sewing room and get busy. I think I will nap first. Yeah, that's my problem. The dogs and I sit in the chair after I get done in here, and I do a little death scrolling, and then we fall asleep. Yeah, I gotta stop doing that. Gotta go back to work. So here, oh, do you want to come up now? No? All right, never mind. Um, so with that being said, I'm going to end here. I know my end scene isn't here anymore, so I gotta recreate that. But we're gonna end here, and I'm gonna say thank you all for being here. Thank you for working through my technical issues at the beginning. Have a great weekend. Find some inspiration. Great inspirational show. You know, it wasn't me, it was Chappie. I gave Chappie the question. Chappie gave me some inspiration. Thank you, Joanne. You're very welcome. All right, guys. You all have a great afternoon. Have a great weekend. I was going to hit the end that says, hope to see you soon. Hope to see you soon. Bye now.